Hey everybody, Peter Jota here and welcome to the JC Way. Today is an absolute pleasure to have as a guest my dear friend Frances. Frances, welcome.
Hi there, Peter. Thank you.
We caught up before for a coffee and have a chat about what was going to happen today, and you said you're feeling a little nervous. They're all gone now?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Nothing to be nervous
I'm
about.
not nervous. I guess it's just I've never had the lights on me like
Yeah,
this.
it's a different space.
Well, don't know what's going to happen.
Usually we're talking in the dark,
Well,
on a balcony somewhere, talking to strangers walking past.
correct. I know.
So this,
Broken
yeah,
furniture.
yeah, the chair falling off.
Yeah, good times.
Good times. Well, we've had a lot of good times, haven't we? We go back quite a way.
Yep.
I remember, well, I don't actually remember, but you remember meeting me for the first time when you were working as a chef in Concord.
Yep. That was a long time ago. So I was an apprentice chef at the Concord Function Centre, and I was 19. So this was 1999. So that's the first time I
That was
remember.
the year of Prince, 1999.
Yeah. It's a bit of a letdown, though.
We waited for it, didn't we? Where was the purple rain? What happened to the purple rain, Prince? Come on, man.
Didn't go as we expected. But yeah, so I know we've had this conversation and where, I remember you from earlier than you remember me. And yeah, you were Peter Jota.
Yeah, we supplied gelato, and funny that connection there is huge for me because I know the Pachin family and Mr. Pachin and my dad were mates from Italy, and I remember bumping into him, God rest his soul, on Majors Bay Road, and
Yes.
he always
King
had
of
time.
Majors Bay Road.
Yeah, he always had time for me, and I always had a lot of time for him. He was a lovely man, and then Concord Function Centre.
Yeah.
And then from there, you had a career change.
Yeah, well, actually, I left. So I was there was a change of management there, and just it was time for me to move on. I spent most of my apprenticeship there, all of my apprenticeship there, and then I went out and started business for myself. So I was catering, had a catering business, Tig Bits Catering.
I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
you had a catering business. I thought you went straight to banking.
No. So when I finished at the function centre, I went out and started a catering business. So I did corporate catering.
How old were you when you started that?
So I finished up 22.
Wow, so
23.
quite young.
Yeah.
We started business in our 20s.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were pretty brave, weren't we?
I think we're always brave. We're
Yeah.
brave now. Young kids are doing great things now, and
Great things,
older
yeah.
people are doing, mature people are doing great things too.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of bravery. It's a different kind of landscape. So we're brave because we're dealing with whatever.
I agree with you. They're brave, but and I'm so happy for the younger people right now because they have so much help and information on tap where we really didn't. We were pre-Google.
Yeah.
So we went out and just did it.
You figured it out.
Yeah, you just figured it out.
Yeah.
And there was our reference points were books,
Yep.
and that was a tedious way of trying to find something out quickly.
Yeah.
So we just, jumped hurdles and went for it.
Yeah. But I think too, there was more connection with people. So while we do have a lot more modern means of finding information now, we didn't know what we're doing. We're figuring it out, and people were more open to conversations and differing ideas. Whereas now you just take what you read
And you think it's right
and it's not always right.
until you start trying to apply it, and then you realize there's so many variables.
Yeah.
And personalities and whatever it
Yeah.
is that you have to deal with. It's like, well, it didn't say that there.
Yeah.
Never does.
I think also too, we draw a lot more comparisons on what's going on around us.
Yeah.
Because we see so much of what everyone's doing. So you're comparing where you're at or what you're doing or what your business is doing,
Yeah.
how you're going compared to what everyone else is doing, as opposed to you just kind of figuring out yourself what you're doing in your space and making a mistake and be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
won't do that on your own. Yeah.
There was a lot of those moments, weren't there? I remember I was just so full of energy, passion, enthusiasm, and drive, and I knew that it was never going to fail, but it was damn hard. And there were a lot of stumbles and a lot of, mountains that I climbed, but it built resilience.
Yeah.
It built experience, built knowledge,
Different kind
built
of hard.
faith.
Yeah. A different kind of hard. I'm just thinking about what you're saying there. It's just a different kind of hard. It built resilience, but it was, I don't know. It's just, I guess it was something we were expected was part of the process. Like it was going to be hard, and
We really didn't know what to expect. We just
Correct.
believed in ourselves.
Yeah.
And said, well, let's go.
Yeah. What have we got to lose?
I know what have we got exactly. We didn't have anything.
No.
Milk crates for furniture.
You seriously, you started a business back then with an ABN and that was it.
Mate, I was going to lose.
$100.
Take whatever you got. It's just a few dollars in my pocket and a shirt on my back, And that was it. So, all right, you started catering. That went for how long?
I did that. So I started that around, pick the numbers, my brain's a bit foggy, 2022. And I stopped my business. I stopped in 2020, not 2022, sorry, God, 2002.
Yes.
And I finished up in about 2008, end of 2007.
First in,
Yeah, before I got married.
you got married.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember meeting you, what I believed was the
Yes.
first time at the ANZ back in
Correct.
Carnes Hill.
Correct.
I said,
Correct.
look at that red-headed beauty
Oh,
standing
wow.
behind the counter
Wow.
with Angela,
Yeah.
another friend of ours. And I was going,
Yeah.
oh, hello, girls.
Yeah, I still chat to her. She's good. She's good value. They were good times.
They
Yeah.
were good times. And then we just hit it off from there. And we've
Yeah.
been extremely close since then. And you're one of my favorite people. And I hold you very dear. And
Thanks, Pete.
so I always enjoy, I love spending our time together.
Yeah.
We cover everything, don't we?
Yeah, I think it was just always easy because I know there's been some times we haven't seen each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, to catch up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen, but then other times, be like, hey, where are you?
Yeah.
Long way, I'm around. Yeah, home, drop in, and
100%. And even if we don't see each other, we're always staying in touch
yeah,
somehow via phone. And,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so you got married.
Yes.
So that was, you know,
So
your
the first marriage, I like to
yeah.
call it. Yeah, that was 2008. So I'd left. My catering business was going really well at the time, but then you know, life took a swing, a pivot, whatever the word is, and got married and decided to get myself into at the time, what we would consider a good, solid job
A
for
real job.
who's gonna wants to start a family, you know,
Yeah.
like sick
Yeah, yeah.
leave, holiday pay, mat
Yeah.
leave, all that sort of
And
stuff. 'Cause you
security.
don't have that correct when you're
Yeah.
a chef.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. And
self-employed.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
You'd call that a wise move,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was. It
Yeah.
was definitely to see where I'm at now. It was definitely a wise move
Yeah.
because I love being a chef. But I think God, now I'm 45 now, and the way it is now, it's a tough industry, man.
Look, I dealt with
It was
yeah.
fun then. And it was
Yes.
high pressure, but it was fun. But what people deal with now, and everyone's a professional,
Mm,
everyone's a food blogger, everyone's a food critic.
mm,
No one's just actually going out and enjoying their meal. Everyone has to have some kind of
yeah. Opinion.
opinion about
Yeah.
it. Don't just go and enjoy your meal.
You know, I want to touch on that because
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a raw thing for me, it's a real thing for me because being in hospitality and supplying thousands of chefs for 30
Yeah.
years, I've seen chefs, and chefs.
Yeah.
And the minute that chefs became public and they're on TV and on social media, the whole dynamic of being a chef changed.
Yeah.
And the approach to food changed, which some of it's great and some of it I think is just shit. And dealing with, I'm sorry, chefs, I'm going to say it. And if you know me, I've told you already. When that started happening and the Gordon Ramsay era came through, wow, man, it was like talking to someone who was, you know, won 15 Academy Awards.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was really difficult because to get an appointment with a chef to let them sample my product, it was like I had to work through all this,
Yeah.
you know,
Bro.
well, I'm busy here and I'm busy there. And you get there, I'll never forget a chef kept me waiting for 25 minutes. And I was really wanting to get into this restaurant because I wanted it on my customer list. And then when he came out, he just didn't even bother tasting the gelato.
Yeah.
So that didn't end well. I let go of a few profanities and I said,
Moved on.
and I moved on, and it was just like that. But then on the other side, I made some really great mates who are chefs, and it ignited my passion in food.
Yeah.
So there were those different ends of the scale. But getting back to you, got married, you
Yes.
found a real job
Yes.
that was with the bank.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was, as I said, you kind of were looking at, well, what kind of direction is my life going to take now? I wanted to have a family, and, you know, that's what I thought the plan would take. And I wanted to be in a position where, while being a chef was great, it was definitely not going to be, it wasn't going to work for I guess, the
Long
life.
term. You couldn't have kids, especially if you're chefing and
Oh, you could, but it's just difficult. And look, I wanted to, you know, people got different ideas of what motherhood should be like, but I definitely wanted to be that mother that was going to be at home and, you know, pick the kids up from school,
yeah, yeah.
make sandwiches and shit.
Would you have had
Make custard.
would you have had the 4-wheel drive?
Oh, don't know. I guess it depends on how many kids.
You would have had the 4-wheel drive because it would have been multiples.
I would have had like a minivan. Like if I had 6 or 7 kids, I would have had a minivan. My mum
Absolutely.
didn't have a car. She didn't even have a pram.
Would
you
have
know?
been Uncle Pete.
Yeah. jumping out like a circus.
Okay, so you did that, you got married.
Yeah,
I mean, that would have taken, even in itself, an incredible amount of courage and strength to shift careers,
yeah. I
even though it seemed easy at the time.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but the thing is too, I think it was I didn't think it was courageous because you just thought, well, this is part of the path. So
Mm,
it's like, well, this and wanting, thinking at the time that this was going to give the opportunity to deliver the outcome that's going to be good for the unit, the
yeah,
family unit at the
yeah,
time. So,
yeah.
I enjoyed being a chef, but at that point my goals had changed to now to have a family, have a home. And it's like, well, this is gonna so I don't see it as courageous. I just see it as being part of the what you need to do for the
Just the
next level.
next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I appreciate that. That's great. I know me when I've changed jobs over the years, and there hasn't been many, but I always felt a little nervous about it,
Yeah, of
especially if it
course.
was something I didn't know a lot about.
Yeah.
But okay, and then you didn't end up having children.
Yeah, it just didn't go
Didn't
the
go to
way
plan.
didn't go as
Didn't go to
planned.
script.
Yeah. Well, it went to a script, but it wasn't one that, I was
Was the one you wrote.
no, no. Yeah, look, it didn't work out. And I think we were married for not a very long time before I realized, oh wow, it's not quite got to be
Happening.
respectful. So I don't want to be disrespectful in case, he's still around, in case he's not in my life, but in
Yeah,
case he
yeah,
sees this. But
yeah.
my sister put it very well when she said once that you in life you can only be who you're not for so long before you have to be you have no choice but to be who you are.
Amen.
And I think we see that a lot now. People
Mm,
for whatever reason, maybe because they're hoping for something better, or they show the highlight reel. They show a part of themselves, but they don't show their authentic self,
mm.
and that's very misleading. And it really was. In our relationship, I'm not going to say that I didn't identify there were things there, but of course, he had some self-esteem issues, that's fine. But
Yeah.
it almost went like from the person I was dating to the person I married were two different people.
And so it just fizzled out.
Yeah. So look, you do the best you can. You think,
Yeah,
all right, I'm committed to this, and how can we work through this? But then when you get to a point, you realize that, you are a team. Every partnership is a team.
yeah,
Whether it's a business partnership or an intimate relationship, you are working as a team. And
yeah.
if you're not working as a team anymore, then, the competition's going to fall apart.
It is, and that's so vital. Like what your sister said is such wise
Yeah.
words. You can only be someone you're not for so long before you really have to be yourself.
Correct.
I would always say, and I learnt that the hard way
Mm.
because I spent years of my life just trying to be someone who
Yeah.
someone approved or liked.
Yeah.
And then the minute that I had an awakening and switched to being who I really felt I was inside, I've never been happier.
Yeah.
And the circle that surrounds me right now has never been more solid and honest. So, if you feel like you're trying to be someone that you're not, I'm not an expert in psychology, but I know what I've experienced and the lessons I've learned. Try to shake that.
Yeah.
Try and be your genuine self,
Yeah.
and you may lose some people around you that you really hold close, but that's okay
Yeah.
because being honest with yourself and being who you are, who you really are, is one of the most important gifts you can have for yourself in life.
Yeah.
And you'll attract
Well, correct.
like
It's the
minded.
gift that you actually then give to the world.
Yeah.
Because that's your authentic self. And I think, I understand a lot of people do, we try to please other people because we're brought up to think it's, you know, helping other people, putting ourselves out for other people. But then if you're actually not being yourself, we know people are going to hate you anyway. So even if you're a really good person, you're beautiful, got a kind heart, people are going to talk shit about you.
Yeah.
If you're an asshole, people are going to talk shit about you.
Yeah.
So instead of being what you think other people want you to be or whatever you think you need to be to make the world happy, people are going to hate you anyway. So just be yourself and let them hate you if they're going to hate you for who
Yeah.
you are. But at least give someone the chance to like you for, wow, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
And you know what? That's such a good point because when people spoke shit about me when I was trying to be someone that they liked, it affected me. Now that I'm being who I am and they speak shit about me,
You don't care.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it. I said, okay, well, so
You almost laugh about
yeah,
it,
yeah.
right?
It's like I don't absorb it. It doesn't even get into my space. So there's a superpower in that.
It's true. Yeah, I just thought of that too when you said that. It's
Yeah.
like, you're just absolutely right. You do get cut up because you're trying. You're trying
Yeah, it's a
to make
letdown,
people
yeah?
happy.
Yeah.
Because you're actually trying to do something.
I'm being the person
Correct.
you want
To
me to
be,
be.
and I'm not
And
making you happy.
now you're backstabbing me or talking shit about me.
Yeah. If people talk
And
shit
there's a
about you,
whole gamut of bullshit that comes with that.
correct.
But the minute that you let that go and you really be yourself and you start to believe in that and really honoring that, honestly, that noise is gone.
It's true, and it's actually almost entertaining. I find it if, if someone is shitty or starts talking shit behind
Yeah.
your back because of something for being who you are, and
Yeah.
it's not even something you did wrong. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Damn,
Yeah,
what did
yeah.
they say?" It's almost entertaining. What's the gossip? I want to know.
Yeah.
Who said that? What did I do next?
So,
What else did I do?
yeah, I'll just say,
Oh
you
my
know what?
word.
I've got a couple of sayings. I've got take a number, get in line, 'cause it's quite long if you want to have a go. And someone backstab you, say, wow, can you congratulate them? They go, what do you mean? Because if they found some room in my back for another knife, well
Like you're
done,
covered.
mate. That's their spot, So
Yeah.
laugh about it. Okay, so we spoke about marriage and you said the first one. So
Oh
there was another
yeah.
one?
Okay. Well, I've only legally been married once,
Yeah.
but there's two other significant
Yeah.
relationships. So that was a marriage and then an unmarriage. So
Yeah.
then I got divorced, and it was kind of
Did you cope all right with that?
I really did.
Okay.
I really
Because it
did.
was right. You felt good about
It
it.
did, and I believe in marriage. I believe in
Yeah.
relationships. I believe my parents had the most incredible marriage.
Bless.
And I know not everyone has that example.
Yeah.
So I know if that's what you're committed to and you have the right values, you share the values. I'm a big believer. I'd
Yeah.
do it again.
You believe in the institution of marriage.
Correct. But I was also very okay with walking away because for the 3.5 years leading up to it, I was not okay with walking away.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like, all right, what do we need to do? How can we work together?
Yeah.
When it's constantly a brick wall, then it's
There's no way out except down.
correct. So that when I left, I felt not even free or happy. I wasn't happy, but it was just, I felt, okay, this is the
Yeah.
right decision.
It's done. Yeah.
You know,
You've exhausted all avenues. You've given it your best, and it's time to move on. Yeah.
didn't work if I'm not the person you want to be with, and clearly right now he's not the person I wanted to be with anymore, so
Mm.
let's just move on with our lives.
Okay. So number two wasn't a marriage, but it was significant.
That's significant.
Yeah. And you smile when you say that. I feel that. I feel the love.
I think
I feel some different energy about this one.
yeah, look, dear Rob, our yeah, he was a different person.
Yeah.
And everyone's different, but he was, yeah, a big part of my life, and
When you're saying that and you say, "Dear Rob," I look at your face and I feel your energy. There's some warmth there. There's some sadness.
it's my heart, actually I just felt like this,
Yeah.
this heat, just
Do
like
you want to talk about that?
yeah. So Rob, he and I were together, gosh, I think 3 years. I can't numbers, time's passed.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had met him and he was still with his wife. They were separated at the time.
Yeah.
And so I kind of came into his life when he was going through some shit in his life.
Yeah.
And his marriage was breaking down,
Mm.
and I guess it was, at that time I met him, I guess this is where it happens. At the time when I met him, I was in the best possible place in my life. And that's sometimes, I guess, when you attract people who are looking for something, is when you're fine and they're seeking something outside of himself.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, that's really, and when I say in the end, he's no longer with us, but
So he passed
he
away.
passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I think in the end that reflected as well too. It's a
Yeah.
lovely, beautiful man, beautiful heart. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
There was something within him that was lacking, that he was seeking outside,
Mm.
which is why probably our paths crossed when they did,
Mm.
because there was probably something in me that he needed to fulfill that was in him. But then again, it's like you've got to you know you have to heal the parts of yourself that are broken before you can
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
truly move on and be comfortable with yourself. So we had a beautiful relationship. I ended up developing a beautiful relationship with his children, his three
Wow.
now adult children.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't speak very often, but
Mm.
they're a big part of my heart.
Mm.
He and his ex-wife. We don't have a lot of contact, but we have a very good rapport, a good respect for each other, and yeah. So
Can I ask how he passed?
he was older. He was
Yeah.
older, and he was living a difficult lifestyle.
Okay.
hard lifestyle. So I think in the end it was just a lot of stress and just
It affected. Yeah, yeah. I feel there's a lot of emotion there, and understandably so. You loved him dearly,
Yeah.
and you lost him, and that's trauma.
Mm.
I mean, I've learnt what grief is, in particular this year. I know that you're a very strong person, and you're very determined, and I know that because I know you. But where did you find the strength, and how did you find the strength to work through that?
Um, it was a really complicated time because he actually passed away during COVID.
Mm.
And I remember that being a difficult thing that, you couldn't necessarily count on your networks were there, but you couldn't necessarily count on your networks for a hug because, you were locked away in your house.
Yeah.
I think the defining the strength was just I wasn't looking for strength. I wasn't looking to be strong. And I think that's something, when people pass away or there's grief, people say, be strong, be strong.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And I
Yeah.
think sometimes it's when people pass away, we project our inability to deal with things like natural things like death or that our inability to process it onto others by saying, oh, it's okay, or, you know, um,
Took
be
it
strong,
easier.
or because we can't actually sit, we don't know
Mm.
how to deal with grief.
Mm.
And grief is something that we really need to have a better, open understanding and more of a healthy relationship with because it's the only guaranteed thing in life. Like the moment you love, like as my dad would say, the only things in life that you have to do is eat, shit, and die.
Yeah.
And dying is something that's going to happen for all of us. And if we can't actually reconcile our feelings about death, we can't actually comfort others.
Mm.
So as far as being, I wasn't trying to be strong.
Yeah.
Right? Some days were really, really fucking ugly, like
Yeah.
ugly. I made some really bad choices,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just because what I'm feeling is I feel this and I don't want to feel this anymore. So I'm going to get drunk or I'm going to do drugs or I'm going to do something so I can just feel something different. And you find coping mechanisms. And that's why I can understand that sometimes when people deal very badly with or some kind of a trauma or something happens in their life, sometimes they do make bad decisions. And it's not because they want to make bad decisions, they just don't want to feel what they're feeling now.
Yeah.
But I think the important thing is just do what you have to do, but you need to then, okay, once I've done what I've had to do, life keeps going. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you do, life keeps going,
Yeah.
right? Because you can ignore your grief, you can get yourself drunk, you can do whatever, but the sun's going to rise tomorrow and it's going to set tomorrow. And
Yeah.
the world's just going to keep turning.
It doesn't stop.
No. And the lives of people around you, as much as they love you, they're going to support you, their lives are going to continue. And it's like, well, sit in what you're doing, make your bad decisions if you have to, if that's your method of coping, but then realize, okay, well, now that I've done that, what next? Because
Yeah.
I have to keep going.
I think that's very well said and so honest and so you. And I get that. What I want to talk about is the bad decisions, not your
Mm.
bad decisions, just in general. Like I said, I'm no expert about behavior and psychology. I can only go off my experience in life and how what I learnt from making bad decisions. So I would turn back in the day when I was going through my traumatic times, I would turn to negativity for comfort, but it only gave me a short burst of
Yeah.
a feeling or
Yes.
distraction.
Yeah.
But the minute that I sat there in my tears with my dog's chin on my lap and looking down, and I could see my reflection from the tears and snot on the floor. I said, where am I in life?
Yeah.
And the minute that I said, God, I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
I need to put this in your hands. Please help me. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
I will explain to you what I felt in that moment. I felt a buzz, a vibration, a goosebump feeling from the top of my head right through. I'm getting it right now, right through my chest, my abdomen, my legs, right through my whole body, and it's like someone just threw a bucket of water on me, put
Yeah.
out the fire, and from that minute, and this is so real, things started to change because God, I allowed God back into my life. Um, so I can only talk about my experience and how I turning to negativity for comfort and turning to God for help. And things just started changing and it just grew from there. Life got better. It was still hard.
Oh,
It's still a
absolutely.
lot of things to get through, but somehow I didn't have to recover from the bad decision to get. So instead of taking 30 steps back, I'll take 2 steps back and 10 steps forward. Yeah.
And I think like on that point, sometimes we make bad decisions to get ourselves through bad decisions, but you're still going to wake up tomorrow and you're still going to feel bad. So that moment, that temporary moment, that escape was only a temporary thing.
Mm.
And a big part sort of in what you're saying there that I picked up on is that the only way to get through the darkness is to accept the darkness is there, and you have to find a way to work through it. And it's okay that it's dark. You have to find the faith to push through it. And you know what? It's going to happen again. But I'm able, like, I'm worth spending the time, and I'm worth sitting. You know, it's worth sitting in this pain. Okay, we have this pain. It's for a reason. Pain is a
Mm.
gift. I know. You
Yeah.
know, all those cliches,
Yeah.
but the bad times are the gift. Not the gift. Sorry, they're the good times are the gift for the lessons of the bad time.
Yeah.
And we don't truly appreciate the good times unless we truly understand and sit through the bad times and work our way through it. And that's really fucking hard.
Mm.
It's really hard.
Mm.
That's why we go and then do bad things so that
Yeah.
to try to make it feel better for 5 minutes, but things are still bad.
Yeah.
You have to accept the bad times and cry and ugly cry and talk to people.
Yeah.
And we also have to recognize sometimes that we need to, even when we're in our bad times, we need to reach out to others.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very
It's
important.
that small thing where I might feel bad if I reach out to someone else I know is having a hard time and then sort of support them. It's actually helping me understand my bad time,
Mm.
but pushing me to feel better about myself.
So true. This morning, and this is a perfect example, I was talking to a young lady and she started opening up about some trauma in her life and she said something to me and I was giving her some strength through my own lessons and what I've learned and how I dealt with things. And she said, "But where do I find peace?" I said, "You know what? There's peace right now, right here in this space where we're talking." And she looked at me, she said, "You're so right." I feel peace. I said, "Good." And so shift your mindset,
Yeah.
recognize these moments and build from that.
Yeah.
Because if you keep living in that dark moment, that's where you're going to stay.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to find comfort. You want to be uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be permanent. That's temporary.
Correct.
So you know what? We're going to fall. Okay, we're going to stop, but don't stay down.
Yeah.
You know, get up and keep going. And it's hard. But you know what? My dear friend, the great Jeremy Chin, he taught me this. He said, "Pete, your life is like you're walking barefoot on sharp rocks and it hurts. It hurts." I said, because but over time, you'll start developing callus on your feet. It's going to hurt, but not as bad. You know, and I'm grateful for those lessons because it's so true.
It is true.
What I've learned from grief this year in particular, it is tough, yeah,
Mm.
but it also is beautiful. And please hear me out, okay? And I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone who's going through a tough time. My heart and my prayers go to you. But what it showed me was how beautiful love is.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I
You know,
could not agree more.
like because if I'm missing this person
Oh,
with every fiber of my soul, and my heart's quivering when I say this, and I will get a bit emotional. But you know what? I'm so grateful that I could love someone that
yeah.
deeply.
Yeah.
You know, and that is how we need to focus on everything in life. And once again, this is what Jeremy taught me: was try and find the positive in something. And that gave me strength. That gives me strength through my grief, you know, is knowing that not only did I love this person so much, but this person loved me,
Yeah.
if not more, you know, and there's beauty in that.
There is, and it's beauty. I mean, had you have not known this person, you wouldn't have experienced this grief. So grief is really horrible, but it
Mm.
does like crying for this person because they deserve your tears because
Yeah.
they left such a profound impact on your life. You know, on what you were saying there, I think often I think about this, and it's like I explain this to people and friends in the past. I remember my father passed away. My dad was a brilliant mind,
Yeah.
very, very big personality, very imposing personality, heart of gold, very soft. If you knew him, like the way he presented was not who he was.
Can I say this? And I
Yeah.
hate to interrupt.
N-
Can I say, is this fair saying I see a lot of your dad through you?
Ah,
Because you're
I
talking
would
about
take,
it.
I would take that as a
Yeah.
as an
You're
honor.
describing
Thank you.
yourself to me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
go on. Go on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my dad, he developed dementia.
Mm.
Okay. And for our family, it was really difficult to
Mm.
see. And I know for some members of my family, it was harder than it was for others.
Yeah.
But it was actually dementia is shit. Everyone will tell you it's shit. It's like, okay, it's shit. Are we going to sit here and keep saying it's shit, or are we just going to work with what we've got?
Yeah.
You know. So then, when we would visit my dad, he did end up in a nursing home. We could just sit in his world. We weren't going to sit there and try and tell him if he thought something was blue and it was actually pink. We're not going to sit there and try to argue with him. This
Yeah.
is his reality.
Yeah.
So sit in it and enjoy it. And
Yeah.
when you
Wow.
change that, you had fun.
Wow.
But I remember when he passed away, and we had a beautiful funeral, and everything was the way we wanted it to be, and it was wonderful. It was so respectful and beautiful. But I remember my sister, myself, and my niece Jasmine. We wrote the eulogy, and we were going to give the eulogy. And at this point, the three of us are sitting at the front of the chapel. It was at Rookwood, so we didn't know what was behind us. Okay, and then I just felt this. We came to give the eulogy. I just felt this wave of like, oh, fuck, how the fuck can I give a eulogy for my dad now? Like, you've made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And then the three of us got up, and when I got up and I looked, and there were just hundreds of people
Amazing.
in front. And it was, and my dad at the point, was he 80, 79, 80 when he passed away. So his friends, childhood friends,
A lot of respect.
workmates, crying.
Yeah, wow.
Crying. And I'd never so grief for me manifested in this moment like as absolute euphoria, because I thought my dad was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And we wrote this incredible eulogy for him, and I was like, wow. But then to look up and see all these people who
Grown men crying.
like I've got goosebumps who
same.
still agree, who think that my dad
Yeah.
was brilliant, that they were crying. Like it was like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's grief is a really fucking interesting thing.
Yeah. It is really.
As I
It
said,
really
in this
has-
moment, I felt such euphoria because
Yeah.
it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was brilliant, but yeah, he is brilliant.
That's wonderful. And you know what? I thank your dad for leaving such a wonderful legacy behind, because just to hear about that
Yeah.
moment, it highlights of the impact he had on so many lives.
And I imagine sort of the feeling you have. I never met Jeremy, but like
Yeah.
the feeling that the impact he had on your life and the people
Yeah.
he was,
Yeah.
whose lives he shared.
Mm. Yeah, it touched thousands. Very blessed. Okay.
Do you need a minute?
I need a moment. So I'm just going to pause here for a second. Have a drink. Let's have a drink. Yeah.
It was big. It was heavy for both of us.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's more
Yeah.
beautiful than heavy,
Yeah.
you know. Okay. I'm glad we got to speak about grief, but I don't want to keep it there. I'm really interested now because you've started a new venture.
Yes.
And it's called Hustle Money.
Correct.
And I love the name.
Yeah.
It suits you.
Yeah.
All right. Not that you're a hustler.
Yeah.
But you hustle for your clients.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it. And I'll tell you now, if I needed to use this service, I would only go to you.
Yeah.
Because I know you do your best for me, and you never put me in any compromising situation.
For that.
Yeah. So, how's it going? What was it like to start?
Oh.
I know it was shaky. I know it was because you left a secure job.
Correct. Yep.
And you were in a place of authority and you were comfortable.
Yep.
But you jumped off that cliff.
Yeah.
And for me, I have so much respect for that. Yeah, because that is not only ballsy, but it is like brave beyond, because when you jump, you don't know where you're going to land.
No, you absolutely don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just feel like you're still falling. Look, so I was working with one of the major banks, the Blue Bank, for many years as a lender, and it was a very good job. And on the point you made, it was comfortable, okay, and it was comfortable, and it was good for me, okay, because I was going through, some instability, obviously after also the passing of Rob and some other things in life, and then COVID. I was so lucky that I had that stability in my life. But I also realized, okay, so the life I want to lead is not going to just fall into my lap, and it's not going to come by being comfortable. So I got to a point where it's like, all right, I can no longer be comfortable. I had for some time a couple of little, I don't know, call them angels, devils, maybe
Influencers.
Bit of both.
Modern day influencers there.
On my shoulders, putting a little, in my head for quite some time. So
Yeah.
why don't you do it for yourself? Why?
Yeah.
And then one day, so Hustle Money, I can't take credit for the name. This is actually the brainchild of my very good friend, Wade Birds.
Gentleman and a half.
Correct. Who's Hustle Property.
Yeah.
He's like, he had the name registered. Why don't you just do it for yourself?
Yeah.
And the good friend, Alex, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? They called me to a lunch one day, and I sat down, and it's almost like they shook me up.
Good on you, boys.
It was really like I had to take a day off work. I've got a business lunch. They shook me up.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so what's stopping you?
Mm.
And that was the kind of the turning point. It's like, what is actually
Well, there was a
stopping
lot
you?
of things stopping you. So it's not just it's just not talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you
Correct.
had to accept that you were giving up
Yeah.
for what you are thinking now is the greater good.
Yeah.
So that space in between that is where the fear lies.
Correct.
So how did you overcome the fear?
Interestingly, at the time, I wasn't fearful.
Mm.
Yeah, I wasn't fearful. The fear didn't set into laughter. But you're like, oh, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
Um,
And I remember us talking
yeah,
about this. Yeah.
and it was really, and I think, look, they got me at the right time, and it wasn't the first time the conversation was had with me,
Mm.
right? But I guess it was just I was at a point where I was like, all right, I was ready for something more.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's the thing too, is that the old drag a horse to water, whatever. So
Yeah.
unless that things align in that person's life where they're prepared, they're ready, and not just they're ready, they're actually committed to it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing because you
Yeah.
can sit there and see the benefit in someone of, oh, wow, you've got this potential, you can do that. But unless that person actually is in a position where they're ready to throw their all into it, you're making a mistake by pushing them into it,
That's right.
you know, because then they'll just feel like a failure if they're not ready to commit to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was just a lot of things aligned. Those two little,
Mm.
I was like, yeah, like what is stopping me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, there were a few sort of financial things and hurdles that I had tidied up.
Yep.
It's like, well, now's the best time to do it. And like my worst case scenario is if I don't succeed, I was fortunate enough that I had a good network of people around me to, to sit in someone's
You had a safety net.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I was just the things, all the boxes ticked. I had the support, I had the right time for me to just be like, yeah,
Isn't it funny
let's
how?
do it.
Isn't it funny when we're looking at something new, we always look at the worst case scenario. If I lose everything, I lose that. Well, I've got somewhere to sleep.
Correct.
I've got somewhere to be. And
Yeah.
you know what? We're so lucky to have that
Yeah.
because I know there's a lot of people that out there that don't have that.
Yes.
And I remember you brought me back to a point where I was homeless for a split moment, and if I didn't have that group of people who I call family today, man, you're lost.
Well, it's funny you say that because, well, no, it's not funny you say that, but the point there that's interesting was also like a turning point for me too, because I'm 45 now, and you, you can't always throw caution to the wind. Well, some people can, but I wasn't brought up to be that way.
Mm.
And homelessness is a big thing. And I think, one of the biggest percentage of people, like homeless people now, that find homelessness are middle-aged women or women in the future because they got to a point in their life where they may have stopped working because they have families, they don't have enough super. And I thought, I'm never going to be in that position. But it was like, I know what I want my future life to look like. And it's not going to get me there just by being comfortable.
Yeah.
And I need to take, I'm not going to say aggressive steps, but for me, not for everyone, but for
Yeah.
me, for what I want to achieve, I need to take a jump.
When you took the jump, what part did faith play in that jump? Faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in the universe. Do you align yourself with that? Do you place some of that in the hands of faith? Do you
Yeah.
turn to that for
Yeah.
for strength?
I think the thing with faith, okay, so yeah, you have to have faith and call it what you want, call it the universe, call it a spiritual faith, call it God, but faith exists. All right. And I think a big problem nowadays, and that we're very challenged with, is the idea that faith and religion are the same thing.
Yeah.
And we see, unfortunately, religion is not actually reflecting what the fundamental of that faith is.
Yeah.
And we see it in the world today. We
Yeah.
see what's going on all over the world today.
Yes.
So good, not going to say good Christians. Christians are behaving in a way that is not Christian-like.
Uh-huh.
Muslims are behaving in a way that is not in line with the Islamic teachings.
Yes.
And these aren't real Christians.
Yeah.
These aren't real,
Yes.
Islamic people.
Yes.
And that's where the lines are getting blurred.
Mm.
Real people of faith, and you can be, and even this idea that religion and science differs. It doesn't. Faith, science, the whole universe works that we are all part of something. None of us is the middle of anything. We are all part of something.
Yeah.
And there is a bigger power.
Yes.
And do you want to call it God? Do you want to call it science? Do you want to call it? That's faith. Faith is understanding that you are part of something and there is something bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's driving you forward. That's driving everything forward.
That's right. It's an energy. It's a force. Yeah.
Correct. Call it, and that's it. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
And so faith is a big thing. It's like, I am just me in this little thing, and I can sit here and worry about, is it going to fall apart? Am I not going to? But this is just me in this little. You need to let go of these scary thoughts.
Yeah.
Because faith and belief that, there is something bigger, and there's going to be something better. And if you make a mistake, well, that's part of the journey. There is some, it's all part of a process that's leading you somewhere. And
Yeah,
that's the way I look at faith.
yeah, and it's very true. And faith is very important because it is a driving energy that will keep you
Correct.
motivated.
Yeah.
And I never remember I never forget, sorry, when I started Giotto and I was doubting, as you do, what have I done, blah, blah, blah. And once again, Jeremy taught me this wonderful saying, which I keep using today: failure is not an option.
Yeah.
Okay. And another saying that he said, there's no such thing as perfection. So having failure is not an option. Failure is not an option as a mantra or a saying. Doesn't mean that you're going to find perfection.
No.
It means that you just keep going.
Correct.
This is not going to fail because my faith is so strong in that I know it's going to work. And that faith and that belief system gave me the energy, gave me the drive, gave me the positivity I needed to walk through the darkness that was stopping me. So that's where I lie with that. But that's interesting. So, all right, we hustle money. It's been how long now?
Just on a year.
A
Just
year
like,
already.
so what are we? We're in November now. So October was I would call my official.
Congratulations.
My first loan in October last
Yeah,
year.
yes, well done.
Which, funnily enough, if he watches this, he knows who I'm talking about. The first loan I wrote in October last year, I only ended up getting it over the line just a few months ago. It took 7 months because it was just a debacle.
Yeah, yeah.
And not anything he did wrong, but it was just like a wow. So
Yeah.
some days you walk into the office and it's just like a walk in the park, and the other days it's like you're just kayaking a little boat through a river of lava.
River of lava.
It's like spitting at you, like
You're trying to dodge the
what you're gonna
rocks.
walk into when,
Well, you know what?
otherwise-
Congratulations to you. I am so proud of you
Thank you very
because
much.
I know that was a huge step for
Yeah.
you, and I know that you have the safety net of hustle
Yeah.
behind you. In saying that, you now stepped into a space where you had to own it,
Correct.
and you couldn't fall back on a reputation of something blue or some
Yeah.
other people in the
Yeah.
office. It was you, and for me, a symbol of your strength and the respect that you command is is Wade and Alex having faith in you,
Yeah. It was
pushing you to
big.
do that.
It was
So
big.
it's I feel that sometimes we don't give ourselves the credit we
Mm.
deserve, and there's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying well done because that's how you acknowledge growth, and it's not egotistical. It's not you loving yourself in an egotistical way. It's saying, you know what, I'm going to accept this win because I earned it, and I think
You
that's
have to.
vital. Yeah,
You have
you
to.
must.
Otherwise, what are we doing it for?
Where do you
Why don't we
recognize the
just,
growth?
if you don't, I
Yeah,
mean, because and I'll be the first one to say I've never been more sure that I'm doing the right thing.
yeah,
But there have also been days that I've just like, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah,
And isolation, I felt a lot of isolation, and it's been difficult to kind of challenge get mentally through the isolation sometimes. But you have to back yourself. So
yeah,
you have to be the one patting yourself on the back,
yeah.
because you can't be counting on anyone for that. It's
No.
nice when other people do it, but you have to recognize yourself as like, yeah, you know what, I did good.
And I'm going to harp on this quickly. I was so insecure back in the day, and people find this hard to believe because I use a lot of confidence, but I was extremely insecure, and I never felt that I deserved a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And that stopped me from achieving so much.
Yeah, I can
So
understand.
I just want to tell everyone out there, please acknowledge your wins. Please acknowledge the achievements that you made, not in an egotistical way, not in look at me, I'm the best. No, within yourself and say, well done. Now what's next? Let me achieve more. Because holding yourself back opens the door to darkness. Not acknowledging your achievements in a positive way opens the door to darkness. And once you allow the darkness in, that insecurity to come in, anything's possible. Anything bad is possible can happen in your life. And I've experienced it. So this is me talking from experience. So guys, please be strong. Okay. Acknowledge your wins, acknowledge your achievements, and strive for better and strive for more. Francis, thank you. It has been an absolute honor.
We're done already.
Our time is
Oh
up.
my God.
It has been an absolute honor. I have been so blessed to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you allowed yourself to be here and share this space with all of us. I think, well, I know that you've provided a lot of inspiration out there because your story is one of strength, love, perseverance, kindness, hustle money, everyone.
Thank you.
Reach
Little
out.
plug.
Yeah,
Thank
reach out.
you.
Reach out to Frances. I will vouch for her. She's amazing, and I know she will never let you down. Guys, we're going to finish off with our quick three-fire questions, right? Okay. What's one quote or saying you live by?
All right. Okay, came from a Robbie Williams song. If you're willing to change the world, let love be your energy.
Love that. Who has been your greatest inspiration in life?
Who's been my greatest inspiration? I am going to say, I know, my parents.
Love
My
that.
parents.
Amen. What's one habit that keeps you strong, body, mind, or spirit?
Nature.
Nature.
Nature. Go for a walk. Go breathe the air. Go stand outside, shake it out. Go get your toes wet. Go pick a flower. Go smell a flower. But nature, when it's too much, just go out and breathe.
Amen. Frances, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Everybody, thank you for watching the JC Way. Leave some comments, leave some likes, whatever you feel. It's all welcome. And we'll see you next episode. Bye.